Bear with me, folks. I don't know what happened to the interwebs. Is this thing on? Hold on a second. Let me go refresh.
Called the Fauci effect, which is sort of like, it's called the Fauci effect, which is sort of like, as trust me, I don't get excited about that.
Trust me, he gets excited about it.
I mean, it's nice, but I mean,
he doesn't get excited. It's nice. Look at him.
People go to medical school now. People are interested in science, not because of me, because most people don't know me, who I am.
But it's called the Fauci effect.
My wife knows me, but people don't.
But it's called the Fauci effect.
It's what I symbolize. And what I symbolize in an era of the normalization of untruths and lies and all the things you're seeing going on in society from January 6th to everything else that goes on, people are craving for consistency, for integrity, for truth, and for people caring about people. It's called the Fauci effect.
Well, Fauci is a tool. Hold on, let me just shut that.
Trust me, I don't get excited about it.
I don't get excited about it. It's nice.
I mean, it's nice.
It's nice, but I don't get excited about it. I just love it. Fauci's a tool, but who cares about him? Fair point, Anthony C. I like to start off my live streams not with the countdown 20-second timer, but with a soundbite that is not directly related to the overall substance of the stream, but makes for a good intro as people trickle in, and typically leads to something of what has come to be known as Viva rants. He's not excited. It doesn't excite him. I mean, it's nice, and I'm sitting here like a flipping king, reclining like it's my festival dinner, reclining with a crowd of adoring fans, doing the media circuit. It's called the Fauci effect. And it's that which people, they don't know me, but I symbolize the desire to lie about gain of function research in a lab in Wuhan. No, sorry, that's not what I meant by the Fauci effect. I represent science. I am inspiring a generation of doctors to go to med school and become doctors. That's what the Fauci effect is. When in reality, the Fauci effect, and I'm feeling it in real time, is actually going to be causing people who had hitherto had faith and trust in science, medical experts, and the entire system to lose that faith and begin questioning anything and everything and things that they would never have otherwise questioned. That's what the Fauci effect is, Fauci. When you get up there and you lie, because I will not presuppose intentions, I'm just going to compare verbal statements with emails that predated the verbal statements, which turned out to be false. For those of you who don't know, once upon a time, when I was covering fake news, and this stream is going to be talking about the fake news, the fakest of the newses. Way back in 2020, when people were suggesting that the Rona might have been man-made or man-tinkered with, might have originated out of a laboratory in Wuhan, China. They were called conspiracy theorists. It was clearly a virus that originated from people eating pangolins. That was the original explanation. Then it turned into bats. Then a bunch of, peculiar videos of Chinese people eating bats started circulating the internet, as though that was like the scientific explanation for how this occurs. Back in the day, if you were to suggest that the Rona was either man-made or man-tinkered with through what is known as gain-of-function research, you would have been called a conspiracy theorist. You would have been demonetized, if not worse. The Lancet, the oldest medical journal in the world, I don't know if it's in the world, but an old medical journal, ran an article. It was like an op-ed letter from medical professionals saying, this racist misinformation is making it hard for us to fight the virus. We stand by our Chinese brethren in China against this misinformation, discriminatory misinformation, conspiracy theories. It originated naturally in nature from someone eating a pangolin or a bat, whatever was the explanation at the time. 18 months later, The Lancet ran an article that basically, verbatim, if I can remember verbatim, but paraphrase. They ran an article stating, verbatim, if not sufficiently accurately paraphrased, It's always been a perfectly plausible theory that the Rona was man-made or man-tinkered with through gain of function. It's always been a perfectly plausible theory, except when 18 months earlier, they said it was a conspiracy theory, racist or discriminatory. And they all stood together against such discriminatory conspiracy theory. Fauci pressured people, and it's been revealed by emails, was aware of the idea, was shutting it down, and then went on to categorically say, no, it's conspiracy theory, racially motivated conspiracy theory. Went on to testify in front of Congress that he or the NIH or the NIAID, whatever it is, did not finance or fund or partake in gain-of-function experimentation in Wuhan, China. To walk that back a little bit, to say we might do something like that, but it's in America. Oh, what they're doing there is not gain-of-function, even though it fits the definition of gain-of-function. Lied to Congress, pulled out the insult card. How dare you? I'm offended. You're a liar, Dr. Paul. So he lied. He has caused more people to question what was otherwise regarded as incontrovertible medical science. He has caused people to lose faith in the system, to understand how deeply political and deeply financially corrupt the system is. And if anybody has any doubts, I would suggest reading or listening to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s The Real Anthony Fauci. And if you don't like RFK as a source, go look elsewhere and you'll find the same information about Fauci, about the system, about how grants work, about how dissenting doctors are treated. Fauci is a proven liar who has caused more harm to society's faith in the medical system and medical professionals than anyone, at the very least in my time, but potentially in the history of humankind. All right. Thus ends the intro rant, the intro commentary, the intro analysis of Dr. Fauci, who I believe, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything. I'm an obsessive compulsive neurotic. I don't know what narcissism looks like, but if I had to guess what pathological narcissism looks like, it would be someone sitting down and quite literally saying, I am the science. And the phenomenon which will inspire a generation is the Fauci effect. Yeah. Can you imagine being so haughty? Is that the right word? Let me just see here. Google. Google. I want to Google the word haughty. I think that's what the word I mean to use. Haughty, definition, not H-O-T-T-Y, people. H-A-U-G-H-T-Y. Arrogantly superior and disdainful. That's the word I want to use. Okay, people. So, sorry. I couldn't get live earlier because I spent the better part of the day in my vehicle. A very cool thing. I will not say that I have not been a responsible driver. I have a very good driving record. I have very good insurance premium rates, but I've gotten car insurance here in Florida. And one of the interesting things that they have for a reduction, a substantial reduction in your rate and an upfront discount is if you download this app that tracks you as you drive and picks up if you're speeding, if you accelerate too quickly, brake too quickly, if you're doing unlawful things with your phone, take turns too sharply, and if you drive good or drive well, if you drive within the boundaries of the law, not only do you get the upfront discount on your premium, but you get like a substantial discount, 25% on renewal. And I'm so neurotic, I don't know what the phone is going to pick up when I'm driving and what it's not going to pick up, or what would be breaking the rules and what wouldn't. So I've been listening to a lot of music, a lot of John Ronson, Them, that book about extremists, and listening to good books. So are you serious? It's a scary concept of an app because I said, like, does it report bad things? Like if I don't speed actually, just because I'm typically don't speed. Although I did get that speeding ticket coming back from the protest in Ottawa, but I was going 127 in a 100 zone. And I think it was like right after you go from Ontario to Quebec where the speed limit goes down. Yeah, the speed limit's fast here. I don't know if it's 95 miles an hour. Anyhow, so I have that app and I'm neurotic. I don't even touch my phone once it's in CarPlay. So I wanted to go live earlier, couldn't. but I had to go live today because we are in a battle of information, people. It is, I don't like using the terms of conflict because fake news goes out there and says, Tim Pool's talking about civil war. People are going to get, negatively. I don't like using the terms war, conflict, whatever. What it is in the less hyperbolic sense, it is a battle of information. It's a battle to control the narrative. And in order to do that, the battle for information is often fought with misinformation. And I have found myself, I won't say at the center. I don't think I don't think that many people are making that big of a deal about it. But I don't like people besmirching my good name, people pretending that anything ever on this channel would ever incite anyone who actually listens to the channel to do anything other than exactly what I've been doing for the last 2.5 years. Get informed, get vocal, run for federal office, try to make a change, and try to reach people. And the way I think is the only legitimate and meaningful way to reach people: through the minds, through the hearts. Peacefully, passively, and above all else, rationally. So we'll get into, there's a little hair floating around. So we'll get into the story in a second. I forgot to do the standard intro. There's a vid of a flight right now talking about a 10-year-old kid having a stent. I don't know what that is. I can't explain in a super chat, but it is beyond horrific and should never happen. I think I know what that's about. A boot. He is a traitor to his profession, his country, and humanity at large. He should be fired, not out of a cannon, so that no one misunderstands internet humor, for actual suggestions that Fauci be fired out of a cannon, unless it's, in one of those circus things into a net and he agrees to it. And then we got Say No to the Big Brother app. Yeah, it's a 90-day trial. And it's not bad. It's not bad to be reminded to drive slowly, drive safely, and pay attention. Okay. No medical advice, no legal advice, no election fortification advice. We are going to break down some fake news. We're going to get up to speed on the latest of the Donald Trump news. I think I called it. Did I not call it? Now that we know, I think we know what was seized by and large, what was obtained in the documents. By and large, we don't have the details. So it might still turn out to be the case that there are nuclear documents, or as I like to say, nuclear documents. It might still turn out that the Washington Compost, the fakest of the fake news, tied with USA Today, which we're going to talk about, CNN, which we might not talk about, Global News, which we're going to talk about. And I actually happen to think Washington Post and what was the other one? USA Today are worse than Global News. Ran this headline on Twitter. And bear in mind, people, I think the statistic is something like 80% of people on Twitter do not read the link before sharing it. Twitter's trying to fix that by saying, are you sure you want to respond to this tweet without having read the article? Not a bad initiative. The Washington Compost. FBI searched Trump's home looking for nuclear documents and other items. So by the way, right here, pay attention. Nuclear documents and other items, according to people familiar with the investigation, according to anonymous sources. Now, I did say at the time, nuclear documents. Chances of this not being horse emoji, poop emoji, because this channel is so, it's not middle of the fence. It's just so, not innocuous. What's the word I'm looking for? This channel is so child friendly because I do know that young people watch things on the internet. I generally don't even swear. That's a horse emoji and that's a poop emoji. There's an expression, not knowing the difference between SHIT and Shinola. Nuclear documents, chances of this not being horse poo-poo, virtually nil. Screen grab for posterity because the fake news is about to get memory hold. This fake news is about to get memory hold. And for those who cannot distinguish between statements of fact and opinion predictions, this is a prediction. I've made that prediction. And thus far, by the way, it doesn't look like there were any nuclear documents in the list of documents that have been seized and itemized, which we're going to get to. But what did I mean by this? And for those who cannot distinguish between statements of fact and statements of opinion predictions, I often have people in the chat. You've all seen it live. You've seen it live where people say, "Viva, you always lie, you always say false things, and you never correct." And I say, specifics, tell me now, please. And I did that. I did it on Twitter. And I put it as my pinned tweet. That's how sacred I hold this. Open challenge to haters, using it loosely, and fans alike. Give me your best example of something I said that you think was factually incorrect, not a wrong prediction, because I've been wrong on predictions, which I did not myself clarify. No straw manning, so no vagaries, no specific. Do it. Challenge is out there. I sincerely mean it. Provide a clip, screen grab of the allegedly false claim. It's been a very dry fishing season. This individual says JT is a dictator. You've said it multiple times and even doubled down when challenged. This is provably not true. He may act like one. I just spat on my computer, but he is not an actual dictator. I didn't realize, by the way, that someone is only a dictator when they've passed a resolution by the Senate, by the House, that says this person is formally a dictator. Then the person posts a definition. A ruler with total power over a country, typically one that's obtained control by force, who has absolute power. JT does not fit the definition. Do you know what half information is called? It's called misinformation. Where's my response? Which has the rest of the definition of dictator. Okay, well, this dude got the same one. Why don't I see my own response to my own tweet? There's another concept of a dictator, which is actually in the definition. And it's someone who behaves in an authoritarian way. And I will say, when you freeze bank accounts, try to censor the internet, try to seek control over the internet, effectively outlaw peaceful protests, suppress it through violent means, demonize a portion of the population, subsidize a media, that is acting in an authoritarian way. That being said, JT is a dictator. Other than the fact that it's probably a mix of opinion and fact, it's demonstrably true. But I have not gotten one good example yet, which is why what happened today makes me so irritated. We'll get into it right after the super chats. Much love from all America. Prayers for Canada every day. The leadership for the Conservative Party is heating up. Next week, I am going to have Roman Baber back on the channel. He's running for the leadership of the Conservative Party. I'm going to have Jim Karahalios back on. He ran for the New Blue. He founded and ran with the New Blue Party. Viva, you think a frozen intelligent choice for Florida. There, you are wrong. Someone said that to me just today. I said, I'm growing the freedom fro. And they said, well, you made it here. You might want to cut it. And I was like, no. This is these streaks right here, the gray streaks in my hair. It's like I don't have any problem with tattoos. I just don't believe in them for myself. But I do believe tattoos are a tapestry that tell a story. These gray hairs tell a story. And that story continues today. I'm surprised you are allowing yourself to be tracked like that. That's an invasive as digital ID. True. We have, first of all, they scanned my retina coming into the States. It's like they have my face in the States. You pick and choose. I know it's not ideal. It's a 90-day trial, but hey. Tried Facebook AI chatbot and it disliked Trump and kept promoting universal IDs. So we know who the Russians were. Okay. It's Viva Friday. All right, people. So this is the drama. We had a big week, an unprecedented week. The FBI the integrity of which now we've realized cannot be challenged. Merrick Garland gets up on stage on his podium and says, the FBI is doing stunning work. You cannot criticize them. They are having their good name unfairly maligned. And that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. And then leaks, apparently, insiders allegedly leak information to the media. That's all he has to say publicly, while the FBI and intelligence then subsequently goes and leaks info to the media to create a whole firestorm of misinformation. Can't criticize the FBI. You know what? Hold on. Let me get it. Let me get it. No, that's not going to be it. Stop this. I need to do it before we get to where we're going. And you want to talk about people being idiots? I'll get there. We have to see what Merrick Garland said. I have a 13-second clip, which is not taken out of context. It's just the part dealing with the relevant parts, because I made a little montage. I just realized that we're not sharing the screen. Here we go.
Dedicated,
Here we go.
patriotic. I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly
The FBI.
attacked. The men and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants. I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked.
Sorry, let me just bring that back so we can read it, as if we haven't discussed it enough. Department of Justice for immediate release, August 19, 2020. FBI attorney admits altering email used for FISA application during Crossfire Hurricane investigation. It only happened in 2017.
Unfairly attacked. The men and
one of the FBI agents involved in the Whitmer case had something of an issue. Doesn't reflect on all of the FBI as much as the FBI lawyer falsifying evidence does. But
women of the FBI and the Justice.
When your reputation has been damaged, ask yourself if it's your fault.
Department.
And yes, I say that with full insight and confession through projection and assessment of my own situation, as we'll get into.
Dedicated, patriotic public servants. I will not stand by silently.
More substantive damage of the FBI's reputation when two defendants are acquitted because of FBI entrapment in the Whitmer case. And now there's a retrial going on. You should all follow Julie Kelly for the daily updates. There's a retrial going on. It seems like one of the FBI agents might have been sleeping with one of the targets. Just that. A literal honeypot. Echoes of FBI entrapment. There weren't echoes. They were reverberation supercharges. It becomes really dicey when there are nearly as many informants as there are defendants, a former federal prosecutor told The Intercept.
When their integrity is unfairly attacked. The men and women of the FBI.
This is from Kleinsmith's information, the charges. Defendant Kleinsmith had altered the original email from the OGA by adding the words not a... We don't need to go over this again. Kleinsmith deleting and adding words to an email to which he was neither the sender nor the recipient, to change its meaning, to submit to a secret FISA court, to obtain a warrant to spy on Carter Page and by extension Donald Trump. The same FBI that just raided Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago palace residence, whatever it is, 2 days ago.
FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants.
All right. Oh, and by the way, if you criticize Merrick Garland, apparently it's anti-Semitic. We're living in a clown world, people. It's an absolute clown world. Where was the article from CBS? Here it is. So Posobiec posted this. Listen to this.
That's why I personally don't think, based on my knowing this Attorney General and our covering of him, that
Listen
he's
to
somebody
this.
who would have allowed this to happen in a rash way, because he had to know that as soon as this happened, it would supercharge a supercharged environment. And in fact, that's what we saw.
Listen to the rationale before we get into the cherry on this mad Sunday. Garland wouldn't approve it without really solid evidence, because he knows the backstory, the backlash it would have caused. He would not have done it, you have to trust him this time, without ironclad evidence, because he knows what a poop storm it would cause. Or he didn't think it would cause this backlash, and they did it anyhow. Or maybe. Or he just didn't think. Or they are so detached, they thought people would cheer this on instead of raging against the corruption. So set aside that logic of this analyst. I had a joke there, I can't say it.
As soon as President Trump put out confirmation on Monday that the raid had been done and was underway, we immediately started seeing factions on the far right, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, militia organizers, calling for violence, as they always have done.
Don't do that. Stop there. Don't do that. Criticize peacefully and logically. Don't threaten violence. It's already illegal anyhow, and you'll probably get a visit if it's serious enough. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists? Against Jews.
Attorney General's Jewish. Against the FBI, federal law enforcement. Against other perceived enemies.
Do you know what the funny thing is? This guy just said it's anti-Semitic. Oh, let me finish it. Sorry. It's so over the freaking top. Press play. Go on, Dave.
They always have done against Jews. The Attorney General is Jewish. Against the FBI, federal law enforcement. Against other perceived enemies they perceive to be enemies of President Trump. It was like clockwork. And then by the next...
Is he suggesting that there are Jews in the FBI and that the attacks on the FBI are anti-Semitic for that reason? Is he subscribing to the anti-Semitic idea that there are always Jews in high places, and therefore, if you criticize Garland, who I didn't even know was Jewish, Merrick, the Elephant Man's first name was Merrick. I now have to go back and see if the Elephant Man in real life was Jewish. Merrick Garland? Now, I didn't even know that he changed his last name. I didn't know that Merrick Garland was Jewish. And by a poll that I ran on Twitter, which got nearly 20,000 votes, 90% of Twitter, 90% of the people who follow me or came in contact with this tweet did not know Merrick Garland was Jewish. So I dare ask the question, which station was this on? ABC. Who's anti-Semitic? Who is spreading the vitriol and the hatred here? You come out and say criticizing Merrick Garland and the FBI is anti-Semitic, and 90% of the people that follow me or that came in contact with that poll through people who follow me on Twitter didn't know that Garland was Jewish. I didn't know that Garland was Jewish. Who's spreading the anti-Semitism? Who's naming the Jew, if not ABC right there? And so you can't criticize Garland now. First of all, you can't criticize with violence. Just don't do it. You'll take your chances with law enforcement. I don't think it's the right way to do it. And I've always said that. But now they're saying you can't even criticize Garland, because if you do it, it's anti-Semitic, even if 90% of the people out there didn't even know that Garland was Jewish. But thanks, ABC, for outing Garland. Oh, why is it even relevant? Is there bad echo today? My phone is in. Anyhow, I'm having the room soundproofed eventually. It's going to be Jablinski Games. We're going to get to the gaming, people. We're going to get to the soundproofing one of these days. Sorry, but it's not echo. I think it's called technically reverb, because it's basically a sort of an empty room. Can't criticize Garland because it's anti-Semitic, even though most people by far did not even know Garland was Jewish, including me. Why am I so special? Spoiler alert, people, I'm Jewish. I may not be the best practicing Jew. I may not be the most religious Jewish person. I'm probably far from. But I'm Jewish. And I typically, when I found out Roseanne Barr was Jewish as a kid, I remember. When I found out Pee Wee Herman was Jewish, I remember. It never crossed my mind that Merrick Garland was Jewish. Reading some of the chat. Never crossed my mind. But you can't criticize him because it makes you anti-Semitic. Preposterous. So now the idea is you can't criticize Garland because it'll make you anti-Semitic. You can't criticize the FBI because, according to the FBI, criticizing them is tantamount to calling for bad acts against them. As if you have to be be somewhat reckless, to say the least, to do something to the FBI. I mean, you have to. It doesn't matter. It's counterproductive and, in my mind, immoral to resort to violence in the absence of the most urgent need for self-defense. I know some people on this channel don't like that. Call me a lefty snowflake Canadian, whatever. But it would seem that at some point this week, an individual thought it was a good idea to go to an FBI headquarters in Cincinnati, Ohio, with a nail gun, apparently to penetrate, he thought would penetrate bulletproof glass, and a weapon to carry out some act of violence against the FBI, as if that's a good idea. What's better than doing the most stupid thing you can possibly do under the circumstances for every reason under the sun? So this individual does it. Let me see if I can pull up the article. This individual decides, he gets killed in a shootout in a field in a rural area. Thinks it's a good idea to do this. Here we go. USA Today runs an article talking about it. Suspect in Cincinnati FBI breach may have posted on Trump's Truth Social during incident. If you don't hear from me, it is true I tried attacking the FBI, one post reads. For those of you who know where this is going, the punchline is spoiled. For those of you who don't, wait until you see where this goes. The man who authorities say attempted to breach security at an Ohio FBI office Thursday morning. Thursday morning is yesterday morning, August 11. Why are dates important? Because facts are important for actual, true, accurate information. Facts are important, timelines are important, and proper quotations are important. Thursday morning, August 11, 2022. The man who was shot and killed after a standoff that lasted much of the day was identified to the Associated Press as Ricky Schiffer. Law enforcement officials said he was believed to have been present at the U.S. Capitol riot on January 6 last year. A USA Today review of online postings by an account in the name of Ricky Schiffer shows the account had recently posted angry reactions to news of the FBI raid on Trump Mar-a-Lago's Florida home. Just to open up a slight parenthesis here, apparently the account has been taken down from Truth Social and the post scrubbed, which makes it very difficult to know if, when you see a screen grab, because the true links are not there anymore, how accurate those screen grabs are. It also makes it difficult to identify when the account was created, because from what I have been told, this individual's account on Truth Social was a newly created account on August 1. That may or may not be true. So if it's not true, there's the qualifier. I don't know. That's just what I've been told on the interwebs. It was an August 1st purportedly created account. Internet can check me out on that. I don't know how to verify those things. I probably know some people at Truth Social who could confirm, but whatever. The same account posted during or just after the incursion at the FBI, appearing to describe the man's efforts. Well, I thought I had a way through bulletproof glass, and I didn't. If you don't hear from me, it is true I tried attacking the FBI, and it'll mean either I was taken off the internet, the FBI got me, or they sent the regular cops, while the post apparently ends mid-sentence. The Ohio State Patrol said Thursday that the armed man attempted to breach the FBI after an alarm. Okay. The Truth Social post was timestamped at 9:29 a.m. Truth Social deleted the profile. Fine. I don't know. I'm unclear, undecided as to what's the best thing to do under those circumstances. You don't want other people being encouraged, motivated to carry out copycat crimes, but you also make it impossible or difficult to verify accurate information. Posts in recent days. This is it, people. 2 days previously, the account in Schiffer's name posted angry messages about the FBI search Monday at Trump's home and club Mar-a-Lago. On Tuesday afternoon, the 10th. Tuesday afternoon, the 10th. Schiffer account posted, I'm having trouble getting information, but Viva Frei said patriots are heading to Palm Beach, where Mar-a-Lago is. I recommend going. And being Florida, I think the feds won't break it up. If they do very bad things that obviously nobody should ever do. Viva Frei is a right-wing YouTube personality. This is the claim. And then the same day, there's other ones. Now, not that I'm not interested in the other posts. This is the one, obviously, for obvious reasons, that irks me. I'm having trouble getting information, but Viva Frei said patriots are heading to Palm Beach. The individual who subsequently retweeted this article, let me show you what the retweet or the tweet of the article looks like. I'm going to find it. Oh, by the way, this is how I found out about this tweet. I found out about the message, and I didn't even know what this was. I actually just thought it was a totally concocted screen grab. Domestic terrorist, now quote you, Viva. Yeah, okay. This is how I saw this the other night, or I don't know what, I think it was last night. I saw it, I guess I couldn't have seen it until last night. I didn't see the USA Today article. I thought this was just a concocted screen grab troll. I still don't know who this person is, when they created this account, and anything else other than that. But USA Today runs that story and then tweets it with the following tweet. Well, first of all, I then said, I'm going to lose my train of thought. Viva Frei said, patriots are going to Mar-a-Lago. That's what the tweet said. Okay. Viva Frei from this post on Truth Social, from whomever posted it. I'll just even take for granted it's the individual who went out and did that idiotic thing. Viva Frei said patriots are going to Mar-a-Lago. I recommend going. That is subsequently going to get misunderstood for it being a quote from me. First of all, I don't use the term patriots the way most people use it. I'm sure I've used it in the course of my channel, either quoting other people or not using it in an informal sense. I don't use the term patriot the way most people use it. In fact, I very rarely use the word. But I remember talking about people at Mar-a-Lago because it was reported in Fox News, and I had to go to the stream of Tuesday before this happened to see what I said. And I said, what do we got here? America, let's get that Trump train convoy rolling. President Trump stands for us. We must stand with him now. Yeah, apparently people were heading down to Mar-a-Lago to show their support. I don't know if it was protest. Oh, sorry, I took myself out of the stream. I'm an idiot. I swiped myself out of the stream. Yeah, apparently people are going down. I would just be very careful. You go down in that vicinity. Call me a coward. Call me or whatever would be the name. You go down in that vicinity and you see what they're doing to anybody who is within the vicinity of the Capitol Hill on January 6th. Past is prologue, people. Ha is right. So this guy, you can't control what people post on social media. Says Viva Frei said patriots are heading down to Mar-a-Lago. I'm reading a super chat about someone suggesting that people are protesting or going down to Mar-a-Lago. And I say I wouldn't go because they're going to weaponize and go after anyone who's in the vicinity exponentially harder than the way they did to anyone who was in the vicinity of January 6th. And this is how USA Today, well, it's technically true. I mean, that was his social media post. They don't reach out to me. They don't ask me for clarification. They don't, I mean, I don't expect them to watch a 2-hour stream in any event. And they run with that screen grab purportedly from the Truth Social account of the individual who allegedly did that. Viva, my husband and I first came across you during the peaceful trucker convoy in Ottawa, and we love you. The bigger you get, the more haters come out. Give them zero pooks or as we'll say in French, le fuck, which means seal in French, and continue spreading truth, I will. But there's a punchline to all of this. I said, don't go down, because I wouldn't go down, because I don't do it. The same way some people are saying, stay out of the Capitol, stay off the Capitol on January 6th, because I've seen what happens now. I'm not an idiot, and I'm not trying to get anyone to do something stupid that I think could plausibly get them in trouble. But no, USA Today, fake news propagandists that they are, run this unverified social media post from this individual. I'm not even on Truth Social, by the way. They run it. They don't ask me for any clarification, anything. And they draft it in a way that it could look like, it could be misunderstood to some, that the, quote, I recommend going down came from Viva Frei and not from the unhinged individual that thought it was a good idea to try to penetrate an FBI headquarters with a nail gun and a weapon and a firearm. But there's more, because like the previous chat just said, it's amazing. It's surreal in that I guess I don't consider what I do anything more than stating the obvious and doing some digging that people don't have the time to do for themselves. But apparently that's a bad thing, because when people, an educated populace is a difficult populace to manipulate. And I guess I'm informing, it's not a Viva effect, but I guess the powers that be, I've gotten big enough now, at least with their voice, that people don't like. I do consider it spreading the truth. And I invite anyone, anytime, any day, if I said something wrong, correct me, let me know. Not stupid stuff like you call Justin Trudeau a dictator. He's not there. What was the other one? There was another one. Doesn't matter. I invite it. If it happens, call me out. But I think I've been pretty good in my 2.5 years of content creation. Wait. Was that post the shooter? Thank you. I'm not your buddy guy. Thank you for asking. So I post that clip, which was don't go to Mar-a-Lago, because if you saw what they did on January 6th, apply it mutatis mutandis and inject it with steroids. On on August 10th, still before the incident, I do a live stream talking about it. I do a live stream in which I was happy with the way it ended. I said, stay vigilant, stay peaceful, stay civil, because victory is useless if you have sacrificed and forsaken your integrity and your human decency. But this guy quoted me and said, I'm having trouble finding information. Viva says patriots are heading down to Mar-a-Lago. I recommend going. And then people misunderstand that. But I try to combat misinformation. Let me see to whom this was. Oh, yeah. Domestic terrorists now quote you, Viva. And I say, if someone's going to quote me, they should listen to what I have to say, because if that individual listens to what I have to say, he would still be here. We wouldn't be having this massive distraction where people are now trying to suppress critique of the FBI because people decide to do outrageous things like that individual. If someone's going to quote me, they should listen to what I say. The wrongful actions of this person are going to be exploited exactly the way I warned about. Wednesday, the day before the incident occurred, but nice try exploiting the incident to wrongly demonize it. Let's just hear what I said. Citizens, stay strong and do not. I have a working theory, people, that people encouraging other people to commit violence are actually the ones who want them to do it so they can weaponize it. I believe that they are. I don't want people like, no, Viva's gone full Alex Jones. I'm saying it tongue in cheek. Treat everyone who encourages you to engage in some form of violence, listen to these words, as potentially, just think for a second, are they telling you to do something bad knowing that it's bad because they want you to do it so they can exploit it against your interests afterwards? When people come on my channel and say, Viva, you're a coward, yeah, blah, 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 you're not going to get out of this you're not going to fight your way out of this. I know some of them are being sincere in their beliefs, but I have no doubt also there are some people who would love to see people make big mistakes that they can then weaponize. So with that said, do not lose faith, but do not keep a blind faith. Stay vigilant, stay honest, and stay civil. Because who was it that said it? When battling demons, when battling monsters, do not become a monster because if you
when you
stare into
look-
the abyss,
oh, damn it.
the abyss stares right back. And there's no point winning at the cost of your dignity and human decency. So, yeah. So I post that just to try to get people to know the truth. And then they're either ill-informed / ignorant, or just pathological liars or trolls. They say, "Oh, how nice of you to say that now, after, to try to talk your car." You idiots. I said that the day before that, and I've been saying it for the last 2 years of COVID lockdowns. Getting violent is exactly what they want, because then they can say, we need to have more laws, more restrictive measures, more surveillance to control the rabble, because they just can't deal with 5 months of quarantine. They don't know what's good for them. We know what's good for them. Okay. Does it end there? No, it doesn't. Because I said now people are taking this screen grab and using it to try to malign me, to try to make it seem as though there's anything on this channel that is not good advice to live by. Hold on. Was it this one? Oh, cripe. I'm going to have to go back. I think I may have. Then some. So you get the one guy. I'm just going to go to my Twitter handle. Hold on a second, peeps. You get the one guy who cripe. What's wrong with me here? Okay, hold on just 1 second. You get the one journalist who retweets it. People misunderstand it because it's an ambiguously drafted paragraph with no further clarification, as is typically the case if you're going to reference somebody in a way that could malign their good reputation and their, other people's perception of them. You reach out. Hey, Viva, did you hear that the dude purportedly said that you told people to go to Mar-a-Lago? Oh, thank you. First of all, I had no idea. Thank you for reaching out to me. Very courteous and very journalistic integrity of you. I had no idea. That's totally false. I, in fact, told people not to go down specifically for this reason. Oh, anything else, Dad? Yeah, for the last 2.5 years of my channel, I've told people that violence is not the answer, specifically for reasons like this, not just because it gets people into trouble, but because it empowers the deceitful liars like yourself, not you, chat, not you people watching, the journalists, to run with this crap and exploit it to suppress actual discourse. Now, I got to get to the journalist from Global News, who I've never heard of before. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I've never heard of her. 21 hours ago. No, so this had to be later because it was last night that I discovered. It was this morning that I saw the tweet. Okay, hold on. I will get it. Cheryl Atkinson. It was this morning. Here we go. I don't know who Rachel Gilmore is, but please, people, don't send nasty messages to people. It doesn't do anything. It does the exact same thing that actual violence does. It allows people to post screen grabs and say, look, Viva's fans are sending nasty messages. Don't do it. And if you do it, know that you're doing me a disservice and not a service. With that said, here's the original tweet. According to USA Today, the gunman who attacked the FBI in Cincinnati said he was getting info from a Canadian YouTuber's channel prior to the attack. Hey, Luc Lebrun, how about you call me or ask me, what information was he getting from my channel? Oh, yeah, that's right. Don't go down unless you're asking for trouble, unless you want January 6th trouble. Oh, getting info. He said he was getting info from a Canadian YouTuber's channel. What does that sound like, Luke? What does that sound like to a reasonable person who reads that tweet? Oh, and then I'm having trouble getting information, but Viva Frei said Patriots are heading to Palm. Holy crab apples. Even I read that and I was like, oh, this sounds like this criminal had a direct line of communication with this guy. And I'm the guy. And I misread it that way because it's misreadable, because it's crap, garbage, sensationalist lies. Luc Lebrun. Editor, Press Progress, send me tips. How about you just reach out to me next time? According to USA Today, the gunman. Do I need to play what I said again? I wouldn't go down. Call me a coward. If you thought they weaponized January 6th, wait until you see what they do to people showing up in Mar-a-Lago. Then this other journalist, I don't know her from a hole in the wall, which makes the sort of spontaneous outreach critique a little bit more peculiar, but it makes more sense in context. Viva Frei is now accusing, doesn't tag me either, from what I can, doesn't tag me. I think I found this because I was searching my name. Doesn't tag me. Attacks anonymously and doesn't tag me. A journalist, by the way. Not that she just didn't reach out to ask for comment or clarification. Global News. Doesn't even tag me while she attempts to defame me. Viva Frei is now accusing people of exploiting the incident to try to wrongly demonize him. Yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right, because this guy wasn't getting information on how to get to Mar-a-Lago from my channel. And if he was watching my channel, he wouldn't have done what he did. The alleged gunman, according to this, here's the vortex of fake news. I'm citing this guy who's mischaracterizing something from another article. It's called the wrap-up smear. Nancy Pelosi described it quite well. Oh, you guys haven't been able to see what I've been looking at. Damn it. How long have you not seen what I've been doing here? Cripe almighty, people. Sorry, I didn't realize you didn't see what I was talking about the entire time. Let me just go for before these tweets are no longer available. Let's document the truth, document reality in real time. Luc Lebrun, here's his tweet. According to USA Today, the gunman who attacked the FBI in Cincinnati said he was getting info from Canadian YouTuber's channel prior to the attack. No tag, no reach out for comment, no nothing. Oh, the YouTuber was a People's Party candidate last year and live streamed from the Ottawa convoy. Sorry, I forgot to mention that part. Didn't mention that I live streamed from the convoy to document in real time if there were Yahtzee flags, Confederate flags, or acts of violence. I was going to show it to the world in real time. Doesn't tag me, doesn't it? Then Rachel Gilmore of Global News comes out unsolicited, doesn't contact me, doesn't even tag me. Viva Frei is now accusing people of exploiting the incident to try to wrongly demonize him. Yep, like you just did right there. The alleged gunman, according to this USA Today article, said he was having trouble getting information, but Viva Frei said patriots are heading to Palm Beach. Yep, that's what the individual purportedly said in that screen grab. Did you bother to check if it was true? Hey, Rachel, I tag you so that you know when I'm talking about you. And here is how the fake news media smear works. One blue checkmark propagandist citing another blue checkmark propagandist without bothering to contact the subject of the story with absolute disregard for the truth. I don't know if it was protest stuff out of the stream. Yeah, apparently people are going down. Apparently, I would just be very careful. You go down in that vicinity. Call me a coward. Call me or whatever would be the name. You go down in that vicinity and you see what they're doing to anybody who is within the vicinity of the Capitol Hill on January 6th. Past is prologue, people. Past is prologue, people. Shakespearean. History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme. Mark Twain. I'll tell you one thing I have a good memory for systems. Not necessarily details, but systems. And you know what? Look, I'm nervous that someone's going to twist something I say and say I motivated them to do something. I am nervous about it because I don't believe in that. I am more Mahatma Gandhi than I am. Can't think of an alternative. These people are liars. Don't go send them harassing DMs or send them respectful ones. Hey, Rachel Gilmore, do you think this is fair? Do you think you maybe should have possibly contemplated reaching out to the individual you're attempting to smear in the worst way possible by suggesting that he was encouraging an act of violence and communicating with the individual? They don't know anything. They don't bother watching. And I suspect the reason why Global News might have a bit of a grudge against me is because I think I did a pretty decent job debunking all of their lies about the Ottawa protests. They're not interested in the truth. They're interested in slander, defaming, so they can try to discredit the people who are kicking their ass on the sole merits of what they produce. That's right. I said ass, people. Kicking their donkeys. You know why people are watching this? And you know why I get 2 million, this is not a flex, 1.5 million to 2 million views a month on my main channel. First of all, chances are I might have some people watching who might have certain issues, and I'm not saying that to make fun of them. I think a lot of there is a lot of mental unwellness out there, especially now. There's a lot of people watching. You reach 2 million views, Global News. I don't even know if you do that. You might have the occasional bad apple who decides to do something bad. You know, the guy, when you have 10 million people watching you like PewDiePie, and then you have some nutcase who quotes PewDiePie before committing a horrendous act of violence. Yeah, it happens when you have 10 million people watching you. Chances are some of them are not necessarily the best apples. Maybe. I'm not sure if Global News has that problem. Another thing, independent, responsible media is kicking the butts of legacy propaganda, and they don't like it. And what's the easiest thing to do? Go out and put out a bunch of stupid tweets that allow a bunch of other ignorant people who do nothing more than read the tweet to retweet it and say, Viva Frei told him to go down. You are a bunch of liars, because even if you don't know that you're lying, it is reckless disregard for the truth and failure of journalistic standards to contact the subject that you are tweeting. You don't even have the courage to do that. You don't even have the courage to tag me in the tweet so that I can see it in real time. You can run with your crap. You can mislead your audience before I even know that it happened. Okay, I feel better. I think I've covered it from all the angles that I wanted to. Your actual words are fine, but it's hard to argue your radicalization since the convoy. Okay, explain to me why it's hard to argue. What do you mean by radicalization? The fact that I realize that the FBI is thoroughly corrupt, that the government is thoroughly corrupt, that they're liars and they resort to militarized police to break up a peaceful protest, that they resort to exploiting their state-funded media to propagate their lies? Is that what you mean by radicalization? Is that what you mean by radicalization? Like, am I not allowed to get angry about that? And then Cynthia, I'm not putting you on blast. I think we've crossed our impasse. We've gotten over the last Alex Jones super chat. I respect what you're saying here. Harder right-wingers than you have used the word unhinged to describe you on Discord. Just say, good. So what? You think people aren't allowed having untenable opinions? You have people out there who think the earth is flat. They're entitled to have those beliefs. People call me unhinged, and I challenge them. Show me a statement where I have said something unhinged. And until then, you're entitled to say stupid, wrong things. I support your right to do that. But let's not confound radicalized with damn upset at the way the world is. FBI falsifying evidence, submitting it to a court, rubber stamping secret unlawful warrants 3 years ago. Sorry, no, it's 5 years ago now. But now we're not allowed criticizing them or suspecting. You know, once rotten, always rotten. And if we do, we're anti-Semitic. So my actual words are fine. Thank you. It's hard to argue your radicalization. Some would call that a red pill. I don't know how you're using the term radicalization, but typically when the word is used properly, it means an inkling to violence. I don't have a violent bone in my body. I don't have a violent word that comes out of my mouth. Thank you for the super chat. I consider our kerfuffle over. And thank you for being here at the channel. All right, what do we got here? Ryan C. Viva, you should follow Rachel. Her Twitter is an absolutely painful salt mine that you can get. It's hard not to troll. Well, you could be a spectator, but I don't want to do that type of stuff. I do it to Trudeau. I do it to Mark Garneau because I believe politicians are different than journalists in a sense. They can actually control policy. But the politicians who have enacted policy that have actually hurt our children, our Canadian children, and then post lovey-dovey pictures talking about finding their own childhood, thanks. You've stolen Canadian children's childhood. Boom shakalaka. Let me get to some super chats. And then we'll just get to the missing documents are probably inside Viva's Fro. And then the other thing about the fake news media, they refuse to understand a joke when they hear it. They want to make sure it's true. You missed some good peacock bass fishing. Glad you had fun in Texas. Haven't even had enough time to fish here. Haha, the warrants, violations of Espionage Act, et cetera, man, they know they are shit out of luck. And I'll tell you what the punchline of all of this. Can you see that person? Can you sue that person for slanderous words? What am I going to do? Sue CTV? My lawsuit against the CTV for what they did to me in that stupid hit piece, the W5, would get them more views than they get on their own by producing crap that nobody wants to watch. So that apparently the post on Truth Social is apparently the post from the shooter who apparently created that account on August 1st and then went out and did something outrageously stupid. You have a better chance of getting accurate information from the homeless man screaming nonsense than USA Today. I'm not no shade and no mockery of homeless people. You have a better chance of getting more accurate information from squid throwing darts at a dartboard. I think you have every right to feel like you do. Thank you. And I feel the way I do. Do not resort to violence because this is what happens. They try to shut people like me up. And it goes from, first of all, sorry. Thank you, Viva. Thank you, Valerie Emmons. It goes from, you incited this. I've never encouraged violence in my life. I've always deterred it. Oh, it's your words. You get people whipped up by criticizing the government. Oh, I'm sorry. So you're going to use the actual violent acts of an actually unhinged individual who thought he could breach a bulletproof glass with a nail gun to do what, Lord knows. You're going to use that to now say that I can't express my discontent and my anger, political, justified anger against the government and against corrupt law enforcement. Well, isn't that convenient? So you want to shut me up because what I'm saying might be true, but some bad actors might get some bad in motivation. So I can't even criticize the government anymore. You know who wrote about that? George Orwell. And they want to do it. They want to hound you, troll you, harass you on Twitter so that you just, you know what? It's easier to be quiet. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. I have great difficulty being quiet. And then people make just, no. But who knows anymore? By the way, who knows anymore? You don't have to break the law. You don't have to commit a crime to have authorities fabricate a crime. Haven't we seen this already? They froze bank accounts was I afraid of my bank account getting frozen in Canada because I documented the protest? Yeah. Did I do anything wrong? No. You don't even need to do things that are wrong anymore for them to fabricate something that you did wrong or just to harass you. So am I? Not realistically, neurotically? Yeah, I'm always afraid of it. I'm afraid of it. I walk through an elevator. I'm afraid of the elevator slipping and cutting me in half as I go through. You have irrational fears, which you have to recognize as irrational, and you have your realistic fears, which you have to then gauge your own conduct in light of. But that's it. Spread the misinformation and try to harass and harangue people into silence. Give violence a chance. I like it. I'm going to make a bumper sticker. Don't put my name on it. And that's a joke, people, so that fake news doesn't come and clip that. Oh, Viva suggested give a bumper sticker. So that's it, people. I'm not. You're not going to take the actions of an unhinged individual who clearly did not listen to what I said to try to pressure me into not trying to change the tide of a world gone mad. Have I fished Crowdock Lake in Manitoba? No, I don't actually think I've ever been to Manitoba. I think I might have driven through at one point. Okay, don't censor yourself. You have a responsibility to your children to procure their freedom. I censor myself already because I don't want self-censorship, the Rona, my Sharona, yada, yada. I will not have someone tell me, I will not have someone control the information that I think is the truth and needs to be told and repeated over and over again. Okay, now with that said, people, we should break into, hold on, let me see what we got. Let me see. There's a Rumble rant, TSE experience. That's the Toronto Stock Exchange. Oh, it's TS experience. I guess that's tough shit experience. David, what are your feelings and thoughts on the Seattle Mariners making the playoff? Cameron Vesey from YouTube. Dude, I don't watch sports. If I've got 2 hours to do something, I'm going to listen to a podcast, read some articles. I don't, and I'm not judging anyone who gets into sports. I get into darts only because I watch it while jogging. I get into poker only because I watch it while jogging. Viva, you know you're doing something right when the woke propaganda media comes after you, spouting lies of extremism. They're trolling for a reaction. I'm not even going to go with the Andrew Breitbart reaction. I'm going to document everything so that it is clear to anybody who wants to know they are lies. The only problem? Too many people don't care, and they prefer to believe the lie. I'm blocking some sex bots. Hold on one second, people. Okay, but now we should probably just get to the actual information. Remember that thing I once said, my prediction? The nuclear documents is going to prove to be misinformation, and it's going to be memory hold, and no one's even going to remember that they believed it. Thank you, Big Pete. You do look big and buff. See, I'm fit, but I'm a small man. But I can run 30 plus kilometers an hour in Crocs. All right. Remember that time I said that nuclear weapons, what do they call them? Nuclear documents is going to turn out to be a load of crap. And no one's going to remember that it was. Okay, well, Jack Posobiec seems to have gotten a copy. It's public now. Viva's sharing leaked information on the interwebs. Nuclear MAGA Poso. Human Events exclusive. Full warrant and property receipt from Mar-a-Lago. Now, I glanced at it in 30 seconds before going live. So we are looking through this together now. Let's do it. Let me just make sure we're looking at the same thing. And we are. Expand, enhance, and how do I get rid of that? Well, I don't think I can. So let's see if I can. Here we go. So United States District Court search and seizure warrant. Okay. Signed off by, am I allowed I don't know if Bruce Reinhardt is Jewish. Am I allowed criticizing the judge for having recused himself from a civil file in which Trump and the Clintons were involved 2 weeks prior to signing off on a warrant in a criminal matter? He was conflicted in a file involving Trump and the Clintons in a civil matter 2 weeks earlier. But I guess they went judge shopping and found a judge who 2 weeks later was no longer in any sort of conflict. Okay, I find out the affidavit. So let's go here. Let's see how this works. Okay, go like that. Okay, now down here. Let's see what this says. Inventory of property seized. And I think we're going to go to the, how do I do this here? Okay, here we go. Attachment A, property to be searched. Let's see this. This is the property to be searched. They were looking for nuclear documents, according to the Washington Compost yesterday. The premises to be searched, 1100. I guess Mar-a-Lago is already public information. Is further described as a resort, club, and residence located near the intersection. Yada yada yada. It is described. Okay, here. Let's just do this. My dog is whining. That dog's gonna drive me crazy. Can someone do something about Pudge? ? The locations to be searched. 45. Oh, they called it the 45 office. 45 is Trump. All storage rooms and all other rooms or areas within the premises used or available to be used by F. POTUS, former POTUS, and his staff, and in which boxes or documents could be stored, including all. Can you believe? How about you say his premises? How about you say the property? Buildings, estate. It does not include areas currently being occupied, rented, or used by third parties. Oh, that's very nice. And not otherwise used or available by F. POTUS, and not otherwise used or available. What at Mar-a-Lago would not otherwise be used or available to be used by POTUS or by his guests? So they can't go into private guest rooms. Attachment, property to be seized. Listen to this. We've talked about the fishing expedition once upon a time, peeps. Let's see this. There's fishing expeditions, like I say, where you go out in a drift boat and you hope to catch fish. And then there's trawling the ocean floor, destroying everything in the wake, tearing up coral, tearing out algae, killing whales. This is a full-on trawl, people. All physical documents and records constituting evidence, contraband, fruits of crime. I thought it said fruits for a second. Or other items illegally possessed in violation of 18. We're going to have to check that in a bit. Any physical documentation with classification markings, along with any containers in which boxes are located, as well as other boxes or containers. Information including communications in any form. regarding the retrieval, storage, or transmission of national defense information or classified material. So the nuke documents might still be there. Any government and or presidential records created between 2017 and 2021. Oh, any government and or presidential records created between Trump's presidency. Any evidence of the knowing alteration, destruction. Oh, yeah, there you go. Any evidence of knowing alteration, destruction, or concealment. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, does it go on? It goes on. Trawling the ocean floor, people, is what we're doing here. Is that it? We might have gotten to the end of the internet on this. Let's see here. Tabarnouche. Okay, let me just see this here. 1. Okay. But it gets more interesting because that's they're looking for everything and anything under the sun except what might be in private guests' rooms. Although I suspect they would have found a way to go in there anyhow. What did they find? Actually, I just want to read this. Vashna says, the world hasn't gone mad. It's still mad. People have no grasp of the fact that this has been an ongoing struggle since the 1980s. The entire 1900s, the 1880s, was plagued by this left. Okay. I at some point, I think it's also a little bipartisan. But, 9/11, weapons of mass destruction, was not a leftist thing. I think it's just a statist, big government thing. Oh, that's very extreme right of Viva. Let's see, what do we got in here? So this is the document. This is receipt for property. So amazing. You know what the powers that be don't want is the aggregate knowledge of the interwebs, piecing things together in real time with actual information. Control information, and ye shall control the masses. Receipt for property. Let's just see what this is. Executive grant of clemency, Roger Stone Jr. I guess that is a presidential record created during Donald Trump's presidency. Considering they have the right under this warrant for everything and anything, anywhere, pretty much on Mar-a-Lago, signed off by an Epstein representative lawyer who became a judge, who was conflicted against Donald Trump and Clinton in a prior file, coming from an FBI that once upon a time, 3 years ago, during the presidency, falsified evidence and submitted it to a secret FISA court, specifically targeting Trump and his campaign to spy on him illegally. Okay, all right. Info President of France. Wasn't it Biden? Who was it that was said we just discovered was spying on European leaders? I think it might have been Trudeau. Leather-bound box of documents. I have many leather-bound boxes of documents in my office. Various classified TS-SCI documents. This is what people are saying might contain nuclear documents. Potential presidential record. They're seizing potential stuff and not just actual presidential records. Binder of photos. Handwritten notes. Box labeled. Oh, this is great. Box labeled A12. These are the boxes. Miscellaneous secret documents. Box label. Okay, what else? We got more of the same. More of the same. And more of the same. Who signed off? I don't care. I don't want anyone to. Okay. People, they've got him. And now they're going after espionage charges. They tried to go with Russia collusion. It was a hoax. It wasn't misinformation. It wasn't hyperbole. It was a hoax perpetrated by MSNBC in particular, Rachel Maddow, CNN. It was a hoax that was supported by falsified evidence. Crossfire Hurricane was the investigation that led to the Russiagate hoax. It was a hoax perpetrated by 3 years by mainstream media that was based on falsified evidence that the FBI itself falsified. But trust them, people. Now they got him. Now it's true. The same corrupt individuals that falsified the prior hoax, they're not falsifying anything right now. And you're a crazy extremist for even thinking it's possible. Any other boxes containers are collectively stored. Pure fishing exercise. Trawling. It is ocean floor trawling right now. And that's the latest. Random chat that I come across. New bill passed in U.S. Congress aims to control cow farts. Thank you very much, John Johnson. Now, did I miss a super chat here? So, thank you. Okay, SYSA Sicey, we got that. So let me see what the chat has to say, because the chat oftentimes is smarter than me. I smell planted documents in Trump boxes. He said it. Trump said it. Take it for what it's worth, because remember, by the way, in all of this, Trump is the liar. Trump is the unquestionable liar, not the FBI. I don't know if Trump says it to plant the seed, but when Trump said that he was wiretapped and they called him a liar, said it was misinformation, he wasn't wiretapped. He was just spied on, because they don't tap wires anymore, because you don't have wires to cell phones anymore. So yeah, he wasn't wiretapped. And that is what you call technically true, but also technically still a lie. When you said he wasn't wiretapped, he was just spied on through other means. Let's see this here. I like bringing Viva Frei defending Trump and the Republicans. OMG, LOL, going for that money bag, eh? What money bag? Other than if I say something stupid, factually incorrect, that someone else retweets and makes them look dumb, they're going to stop following me. They're going to stop listening to what I have to say, because I will have proven that I can be unreliable to a point that might make them look bad. The fact that that hasn't happened in 2.5 years, success leaves clues, accuracy leaves clues. The money bag to which you're referring, whatever the, hold on, what was it? It had 4 letters in it. Seriously, the money bag, don't confound money bag with actually meritocracy. And I genuinely don't, people would not be still tuning in if I didn't actually inform. If I misinform, you might have the problems of CNN Plus. Viva, you need to go back. You need to go check out Dan Bongino's podcast today. He speaks with another former FBI agent whom is a criminal defense attorney. Huge insight. I'll go check it out for sure. Maybe I'll even try to get on Bongino's podcast. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think that troll was a super chat. I don't only bring up super chats, as I did here, winning reality. So by the way, the cameras were never turned off during the raid, fixing to be released on Telegram. Interesting. I thought they had told him to, I thought they had kicked the lawyers out. Apparently the word was the agents told the lawyers to leave, didn't give a copy of the warrant. Merrick Garland gets up and says, we can't talk about it except to say the FBI is totally trustworthy. Then they leak fake information to the Washington Compost, who publishes it. Thus far, I didn't see in that itemized list a box with a radiation symbol on it. Maybe something's still there, though. Viva, no one's pointed out the Epstein list and videos. If actors in DNC got it, it would be the ultimate blackmail tool to sign off warrants, etc. There's no end. There's no end to the corruption, but there's also no end to hypothesizing. I choose not to not hypothesize. I'll hypothesize, but I choose not to repeat things that, as of yet, are unsubstantiated. There's a very wild rumor about Justin Trudeau having paid hush money to keep a former student silent under an NDA. The only article on it comes from a bogus website, and so it can't be shared because it's not confirmed by MSM. It's not confirmed by reputable sources or actual documents. In fact, it's only referenced in a known bogus website. There's a lot of stuff that people can say might very well be true, but unless you have evidence that it is true, and the only evidence out there is bad evidence, you cannot repeat it as fact or even, plausible theory, in as much as it may be plausible. So that's it. This is true. The judge quit the DOJ to defend Epstein, almost like he was afraid of something coming out. He stopped. He quit. Was it the DOJ? Wherever he left, because he was working in the system. Left the next day, New Year's Day. Went to represent Epstein and employees, or as I understand it, actually co-conspirators. Got him a very, very good deal under that previous deal that Epstein got that nobody really understood how it happened. 6 years ago, 6 years ago, would you believed FBI planted evidence? Not at such a scale. Like you watch movies, you see in Training Day, you watch movies where cops plant evidence. You know there's corruption, but systemic to the point where, especially when you see how it works, the FBI fabricates evidence, runs to a secret court, leaks bogus dossiers to the media that then publishes them so that the FBI then uses those publications from MSM as support for applications to the court. The media covers it up. Politicians don't just go along with it. You want to talk about encouraging, inciting, and forming radicalism? They go along with it and they demonize anybody who questions it. Adam Schiff, have we all forgotten that Adam Schiff came out and said, I've seen the evidence of Russian collusion? He said it knowing that nobody could contradict him because it would involve disclosing confidential information. He came out and lied because we now know it doesn't exist. Choked on my own tongue. Because if it did exist, Mueller would have found something. He lied knowing that the lie could not be contradicted because it would involve breaking the law. Nothing. Crickets. Someone had a funny tweet. I don't like these jokes. Contributing to your defense fund, LOL. I don't like the. You know what? You know the joke. It's a form of neuroses. I don't know if full fascism is the proper word. I've been feeling like Happy Gilmore when he says, I don't play golf, I play hockey. It's like, really, what team do you play for? Face it, Happy, you are a golfer. I'm not a journalist. I'm just an analyst. I'm just an analyst. A pain in the analyst is what I am. All right. Let me just go back to my Twitter to make sure that I haven't forgotten any of the stories that I wanted to talk about. Thank you, Design. No, it doesn't get discouraging. It just gets depressing. Because there's people there are going to be people who know me who might now think, Viva said go to Mar-a-Lago. Or people who don't know me that are going to read that article and not even know where the mistake is. And by the way, USA Today, if you're watching, you fake news propagandist liars, I'll come and do a live interview. I will do a live interview on your show, USA Today. I'd even do a live interview with Rachel or the other guy there, Lebrun. I'll do a live interview. The only condition, it's got to be live, and I've got to be able to record it as well. Have you watched the 6-part doc, While the Rest of Us Die, Secrets of America's Shadow Government? It's on the free app Tubi. And hi from Quebec. Just me, Nicole. How you doing? I haven't seen it. There's no such thing as a free app. If it's free, you are the product. I'm joking. But I haven't seen it. So let me just take this screen grab. So it's discouraging, but I'm a stubborn kid. I might be 43 years old, but I'm still a kid. With all the talk of recession, this reeks of look over there, Trump energy. It's just no, but it's divisive. It's fundamentally, and Merrick Garland personally signed off on this. Merrick Garland, the man who was denied that sweet ring that he wanted, the seat on the SCOTUS by the Republicans. Who was governor of Florida when Epstein got the sweet deal? I think I know the answer, but not wanting to make a mistake. Chat's going to get it in about 2 seconds. Who was governor of Florida? Epstein. Let's see. Well, it wasn't Ron DeSantis, that's for sure. All right, chat. You know what? You tell me. Hold on, I'm not going to get it fast enough. Who was it? Who was the governor of Florida when Epstein got the sweet deal? Although I see Rick and I see Jeb and Rick. I think it was Rick Scott now that name rings a bell. But who was it? Jeb Bush? Hold on. When did Epstein get the sweet deal? More and more, I think Epstein did not do that to himself. That's not something I say with any pleasure. Very disillusioning. You think, God, but you know, by the time somebody decides to do something like that, it's on. You can't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But hold on. Was it Jeb Bush or was it Rick Scott? People. But what does the governor have to do in any event? Did the governor have to approve the deal? That would be the question that would be relevant. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll look. I'm seeing Scott again, and now I'm torn between. Who would think when you predict something in advance and then it happens? All right, let's see what we got in the Twitterverse before we call it for the day, people. Anything else on the Rumbles? Bingo, bango, bongo. No, it doesn't look like there's anything there. Okay. Just going to go ahead. So that's what we're looking at. That's the Twitter. Why can't I find? Why? Okay, so this is it. We're now seeing the fish. Okay, good. So let me just see. No, it's not going to work, guys. Sorry, I need to not be in incognito because I can't scroll through my own timeline when I do that. Okay, here we go. Tweet face. Let's just make sure that we got this. Okay, open challenge. It will always be open. If I've said something factually incorrect, like I don't even want to say something factually incorrect as an example because someone's going to take it out of context and say it was true. Correct. Call me out. I will correct myself, or I will at least look into it. Like I did, by the way, when someone said no, Viva, Kleinsmith didn't just delete something from the email. He actively inserted something into the email. What drives me crazy is I knew that. I just forgot it at the time of the stream. Oh yeah, Trudeau. Who cares? The news is coming out that we should mention it. Raquel Dancho. Oh, at one point I mistook a clip from Raquel and thought she was being serious when she was being sarcastic in the video, and I corrected myself because it also changed the way I interpret Raquel Dancho. The Prime Minister's National Security Advisor, this is coming out of Canada, advised that there was a potential breakthrough in negotiations between police and convoy leaders on February 13, just 24 hours before the Emergency Act was invoked. Rather than let it play out, the government pulled the trigger anyway. Pulled the trigger. Raquel Dancho, you got to watch out with these analogies. You might get people might misinterpret what you say. Everybody knew that all Trudeau had to do was come down and discuss. Everybody knew that there was discussions between the cops and the protesters. Trudeau did not want the breakthrough in negotiations. He wanted an excuse to bring in the militarized police to bust heads. He did. That's all he wanted. He wanted, like every petty tyrant, to act like a tyrant, to flex his tyrannical muscles. He wanted a January 6th, and when he didn't get it, he fabricated it. Mendocino, that liar, saying it was necessary to invoke the Emergencies Act because women were being threatened with RAPE. Bull, horse emoji, poop emoji. That would be more like horse poop emoji. Liar. All liars. They wanted to flex it. They wanted to suppress it. They wanted to break the spirit of not just the protesters, but all of Canada that was on the side of those protesters. And they did it. Oh, yeah. And then one of the trolls. Yeah, I muted the account. I'm done with when I'm thoroughly convinced that someone is of the utmost of bad faith, I don't block them. Enjoy talking. I just don't want to be distracted by your trolls. Literally, by the way, hold on. This is the level of the response to like, that's not what I said. Here's the timeline. A person who literally looks like one of the trolls from the 90s. Oh, okay. What are we, 4? And by the way, do it right. I'm Artie Ziff, dude. I don't look like a troll. I look like Artie Ziff. Okay. Fauci effect we got. And then that's it. I think that's a lot of these accounts created this month, last month, being very troll, very bottish. Still haven't been able. Oh, all right. I haven't been. So I said this. I was talking with my father, and I was like, I've read these stories about saying of the 87,000 new IRS agents that Joe Biden is looking for, they have to be ready to carry a firearm and willing to use deadly force. It was in the job description. And I was like, I can't share that until I can see the link with my own eyes. Unfortunately, I won't be able to because they seem to have removed it. The IRS, but this comes from Eric Schmidt, so I think I can rely on this. Husband, father, Missouri's attorney general. If he is wrong on this and it didn't actually exist, I will apologize and correct myself. But I think I can now safely conclude the job description actually said must be willing to carry a firearm and willing to use deadly force. I think I can say it now. The IRS, but they've deleted it. They've since removed the job posting, sought people who are prepared to, quote, carry a firearm and willing to use deadly force if necessary. Now we're demanding answers from the IRS and the Biden administration. Eric, Dark Brandon, he don't answer questions. Listen, Jack, it was a typo. Now stop bothering me with this malarkey. Dark Brandon. That's haha. Okay. That's the nuclear documents garbage. And that was my reminding Mark Garneau and Justin Trudeau that they literally psychologically abused children in Canada. Just to show you. The risks, as per our Chief Medical Officer of Ontario, the fact that minimum 14-day quarantine for not being vaccinated when you return to Canada applies to children as young as 13. Despite the CDC updating its guidelines to say we shouldn't distinguish treatment from vaccinated versus non-vaccinated because there are breakthrough cases, Trudeau doesn't care. Punish the unvaccinated. Demonize and psychologically abuse children as young as 13. Oh, and what happens there? This is from March 15, 2021. Hasn't gotten better, people. From depression to self-harm, teens are now struggling during COVID-19. Oh, by the way, you want to know something funny? This was the same fake news CBC that said that suicide rate had actually gone down during COVID. Sorry, not CDC, CBC. They said suicide rate has actually gone down. This was early on, before they even had the stats. At CBC. Goddamn liars. February 10. Many assumed suicides would spike in 2020. So far, the data tells a different story. That was February 2021. What does CBC report? March 2021. From depression to self-harm, teens are now struggling. God-forsaken liars is what the CBC is. Sorry, I'm getting angry. Can't criticize the CBC. I'm sure there's some Jewish people that work there, so it's anti-Semitic. Yeah. Okay, I think we've exhausted the news items of the day, but I just wanted to get the actual timeline out there. Oh yeah, and that's for those who were worried that I had cut the fro. So that is it, people. We have gone through the fake news of the day. USA Today, shame on you, but I'll still come and do a live interview. So you can actually get the insights, the facts from the individual who you referenced in your story, but didn't bother to consult to verify the accuracy of the story itself. Accuse your enemies of doing what you are doing to sow confusion. The Clintons have way more collusion with Russia and Ukraine than the most scrutinized president in history, as does Biden and his family. Although I guess, do we include Ukraine in that? I mean, I would. I would be inclined to include any country in Europe, Eastern Europe. What do we got here? Wikipedia, the list of governors. Okay, thank you. I can't click on the hyperlink from the super chat, but thank you, Keith Noah. So who was it, though? 4,000 watching here. We were up to 4,500. And on the Rumbles, peeps, what do we got? Close to 2,000. I'm not superficial. The numbers are nice. More always makes you feel better. Less always makes you question yourself. It's not gonna dictate or guide my message and what I look into. I'm not interested in asking what people are interested in so I can cover the trending story of the day. I want to cover what I find interesting. I'm often interested in what is, in fact, the big news because that is often the most interesting stuff. Alex Jones interviewed Justin Trudeau de Toilette's half-brother a few months ago. It was fascinating. He said his brother is a lost soul. I like that way of describing it. Trudeau has either stared into the abyss or he stared at the ring for too long. The worst was the kids saying to call the cops. And Can you imagine doubling the size of the IRS? But no, they're not going to increase audits. You do know why they want IRS weaponized. Another army in USA, it's Sylvan, as in SYSY. Oh, Sylvan. Okay. I thought it was for seriously. Love your shows. Thank you very much. That may be, I can't attest to that. What I do fear is the inevitable outcome. Arm the FDA, not the FDA, the ETF, not the ETF, the ATF. Arm the DEA, arm the FBI, give them the most powerful weapons in the world, the most bizarre experimental tools in the world, and they just look for a reason, an excuse to use them, a la Waco, and then you just have an overzealous, over-weaponized, militarized federal police force looking for confrontation, finding confrontation with tragic results. Who do you think the IRS is going to go after? The IRS might go after big businesses. They might. They might go after small businesses. They might go after the flow-through businesses. They might also just, go after, the way they did under Obama, conservatives, Tea Party, conservative GOP right-wingers. They might go after the people who might be living off the grid, not paying their fair share of taxes. And then they might go and be apprehensive when approaching the properties, be armed, be more likely to use a firearm. And then you just have another Ruby Ridge. You have another Waco. But, and then it all, the full cycle in effect. Media comes out, demonizes the right-wing extremists living off the grid in Utah, in Iowa, Idaho, wherever. Media comes out, reports fake news, nuclear documents. They fired first. You have another tragedy because you're arming up people, expanding the government exponentially, indefinitely, relentlessly. Did you notice that the inventory list skipped over number 4? Probably just a typo, but seems strange to a numbers guy. I did not know that. I wouldn't chalk it up to anything more than that. And just let me be. The IRS had 8 mishaps, gun going off last year alone. I didn't even know. First of all, I don't know if that's true. I never even knew it was in the realm of possibility that an IRS agent would carry a firearm. Seems to me that they would specifically be precluded from carrying a firearm. IRS is now the brown shirt army. Ma nishma. What's your name? Shmi David. Freiheit. Which means freedom, oddly enough. Okay, people, what time is it? We've done good. If you would be so kind and oblige me so that I will not feel quite as guilty for overlapping with Hunley, go check out Hunley's stream. They were talking about the latest. Apparently, he's got I won't say a leaked. He's got a document in the Alex Baldwin thing. I think it's the Alex Baldwin investigation, which other people might not yet have. So if you would be so kind, I don't know if they're still going live. Go there. Check it out. Drop a comment. Just let him know I sent you so I can sleep better tonight. And that's it. Eric Hunley, America's Untold Stories. He's also got Unstructured Podcast, which is great. Contribution to, okay, I got that. Sorry, get it out of here. And people, he's on Locals as well. Is it Eric? It's unstructured.locals.com. I'll put his links in so I feel a little less guilty. I don't like overlapping. There's too many people doing too many things live now anyhow, and it happens. But go, share some loves, tell him I sent you. And Baldwin has not been dismissed by the FBI. He's still on the hook. We'll see about that. My personal opinion, he pulled the trigger on purpose because he was angry, but he thought it was a blank gun. He just wanted to scare her. He just wanted to make it look like, an accident. Didn't know. That's my assessment. That's my personal opinion. I did a very, very thorough breakdown to flesh out and justify that opinion. Viva, do not let your best chat. I don't silence anybody. I actually, unless you mean the sex bots. But Corn Pop hasn't been blocked, by the way. So the meme is there. I have not blocked Corn Pop. Breaking, IRS to recruit exclusively from the... That's not true, people. Okay, let's see here. He definitely pulled the trigger, and it definitely happened. But my working theory, he's a big time A-list actor on a low budget set working out in the middle of nowhere, has a director of photography who's giving him a little more instructions than is normal in the industry. Directors of photography are not supposed to talk to the A-list actors. That goes through the director. Getting him a little frustrated, a little tired. She tells him how to hold the gun for the scene. Hold it, and then he gets angry, pulls the trigger thinking it's a blank. Boom, it goes off. Why was there a live round in there? Because they were using it to fire live rounds the other day, and someone screwed up. Okay, peeps, let's do this. Always a couple of good things on to miss. This says, Cornelius Koitz Chaderech. Cornelius Koitz. Is that Yiddish or is that Haderech? Is the path? Cornelius something finds the path. Maybe. Okay, good. I haven't seen porn. It's porn cop. All right, peeps. I'm gonna go. Pissed off dragon. Thank you very much. I don't think I can go for a jog without my wife killing me at this point, so I'll have to make up for it tomorrow. Peeps, go enjoy the evening. I think there's a bourbon with Barnes tonight. VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com. Subscribe to Viva Clips, where I post highlights and clips and shorter videos. VivaFry.com for merch. Spread the word, and above all else, share this so that those fake news propagandists who tweet first and then ask questions later, although they haven't even asked the questions yet, can know, and the people who follow them and fall for their fake news should know better as well. What's the definition of Bolshevik? Oh, it's movie night with Barnes, and I think it's a civil action. That's right. A civil action. One of the best law movies ever made. If not, in my opinion, the best law movie ever made. I watched 12 Angry Men, didn't like it as much, and I've seen everything else. Civil action, John Travolta, Robert Duvall, fantastic. Movie night with Barnes, people. A civil action on VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com. Thank you all again. Thank you for the support, the encouragement, and thank you for the critique. See you tomorrow, but no later than Thursday.